Oh, absolute madness, that Natsu. Woo-hoo, he's shocking, I know. That's where the Natsu, the fiery bloke, explained. Ultimate ability, Roar of the Dragon God. Starts with 500 energy. 500 choose your flavor. Lightning Fire Dragon mode. Zappy. Fokuchek's notes. Up to a whopping 1,600% damage multiplier. Plus extras per ultimate power. Potentially another 640%. And it stuns everyone in a frontal arc for 3 seconds. Nice bit of crowd control that. Fire Dragon King mode. Roasty. This is where they crank the damage dial to 11. We're talking a potentially bonkers 2,800% multiplier. Plus another potential 11-20% per ultimate power. Good grief. Same frontal arc, but pure, unadulterated damage. No stun, just pain. Glorious, glorious pain. My thoughts? Honestly, that Fire Dragon King damage is looking mighty tempting. Like stupidly high numbers. Forget the stun. There are loads of heroes who can do a bit of stop hitting yourself, right? But that much damage? Especially on grouped up enemies in AFK stages? Yes, please. That's the good stuff. Plus, the animations? Chef's kiss. 2 different ones. Lovely jubbly. Skill 2. Iron Fist o' Doom. Lightning or Fire King flavor, naturally. Lightning Fire Dragon mode. Targets the enemy Git who's been hitting your team the hardest. Dishes out up to 560% damage, plus skill power boost, yawn, and slaps him with an 80 haste reduction. Ooh, slow him down. Oot. It wears off over 5 seconds. Bit pants that. Like a damp squib. And the cooldown is a hefty 12 seconds. You'll need some serious haste buffs, hello twins, to get this firing off often. Is it worth it? Maybe in PvP, targeting their big hitter? Fire Dragon King mode. Smacks an adjacent enemy based on their maximum health. Up to 50%, but capped at 1400% of Natsu's attack, with skill power. Also knocks him down for a cheeky half-second. Now this I like. For AFK stages or bosses with health bars longer than my Christmas list, you'll hit that damage cap every single time. Much more reliable bang for your buck compared to the lightning version, methinks. That percentage health thing probably won't even hit the cap in PvP, making the damage maybe less impressive there. So yeah, Fire King looking better again for PvE. Skill 3. Fiery Ties, because friendship and rage. Triggers once when an ally bites the dust. Poor sod. Natsu gets angry. He gains up to 42%, with skill power, of the fallen comrade's attack and defenses. That's beefy. Oh, and if it's Lucy who pops her clogs, he gets, checks notes again, 5 crit, and 5 crit damage boost. Pfft. Absolutely minuscule. Don't run Lucy just for that, honestly. The catch? You kinda don't want your allies dying in AFK stages, do you? Makes it a bit awkward to trigger reliably when you need it most. Brilliant for PvP though. Someone's bound to get squished eventually. Free stats for Natsu. But does Natsu himself survive long enough to benefit? He's got no built-in survival. Bit dodgy. Hero Focus. Passive goodies. Lightning mode. Gets up to 15 haste. Helps with that long cooldown skill, I guess. But 15 haste ain't exactly setting the world on fire. Fire Dragon King mode. Gets plus 20% attack. Yes, more damage. See? Fire King mode just keeps getting better. Gimme the raw power, thank you very much. Exclusive skill. Salamander, Natsu. Wait, this gets weird. Okay, get this. When Natsu deals damage, he reduces the target's maximum health by up to 50% of the damage dealt. Sounds insane, right? Just chipping away their total potential health. But hold your horses. There's a cap. The total reduction per enemy can't exceed 800% of Natsu's own attack. Against massive HP enemies in AFK stages, is 800% of his attack really that much reduction? Feels underwhelming? Maybe decent in PvP? I don't know. And then level 3. While enemies have Natsu's debuffs, which debuffs? The stun? The 5-second haste thing? Their max HP drops by 20% of Natsu's attack every 0.5 seconds. Right, but his debuffs barely last. The stun is 3 seconds, the haste thing is 5 seconds and only on one target. What is this even doing? I'm proper confused. This feels oddly weak for an exclusive skill. What were they thinking? Enhanced Force, Supreme Plus, Redemption Arc. Okay, now we're talking. When Natsu damages an enemy with anything other than his basic attacks, so skills or ultimate, he burns them for 5 seconds. This burn ticks every 0.5 seconds for 80% of his attack. That's 10 ticks, a total of 800% attack multiplier as burn damage. That's more like it. That's a lovely bit of extra sizzle. Way better than that confusing exclusive. Overall thoughts. Honestly, I'm a bit baffled. Look, the lad has potential. That Fire Dragon King ultimate hits like an absolute truck. The damage numbers are just bonkers. The Supreme Plus burn adds even more fuel to the fire, but his survivability seems non-existent without support. That lightning mode feels a bit naff most of the time. The exclusive skill is puzzling, to say the least, and relying on allies dying for his passive buff feels counterintuitive for progression. So, where does he fit? Is he just a massive glass cannon nuke for specific situations? Can he actually survive in PvP without being babysat? That Fire King damage might just be enough to one-shot teams, who knows? Madness. Yeah, there are bundles. The cheap one seems decent value if you're spending. For charms, ultimate skill power looks good. Maybe haste skill power. The set bonus seems very PvP focused, with that burst after the first ult. Not great for long slogs. Right, that's Natsu in a nutshell. A very confusing, fiery nutshell. He's certainly interesting. Gotta get him in the field and see what carnage he actually causes. What do you lot think? Is he the next big thing, or a flashy damp squib? Did I miss anything blindingly obvious cause my brain is slightly frazzled now? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Absolutely chuffed to hear 'em. We'll tackle Lucy next, don't you worry. Okay, right then, settle down, settle down. Next up on the chopping block, we've got Lucy Heartfilia, the other star of this fairy tale extravaganza. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Pop the kettle on, grab a biscuit, cause this one's, well, it's something. First glimpse at the trial. Right, she's got summons, classic Lucy. Casts her ult, summons Aquarius, who does a bit of a splashy knock-up and stun. Fair enough. Lucy, the celestial mage kerfuffle. So she's a magic damage dealer, lobbing spells from a range of 3? 3? Are you having a laugh? Even Shamira's range of 4 felt a bit close for comfort sometimes. This girl's gotta practically walk up and shake hands with the enemy before she can even start attacking. Talk about putting yourself in the firing line. Blimey, that's a worry straight out of the gate. Ultimate ability. Open. Gate of the Water Bearer. Aquarius. 700 pre-filled energy. Good grief. 700 factorial. That's utterly mental. She's popping this ult almost the second the bell rings. Is that even legal? Bonkers. Summons Aquarius. This watery maid is tankier than Lucy, 120% HP, and borrows her other stats. Proper unit. Splashy entrance. Aquarius immediately makes a nuisance of herself, hitting the most crowded spot with a watery blast, dealing damage, knocking them up, and stunning them for 2 seconds. Bit rude, but effective. Repeat performance. Aquarius keeps doing this splashy stun every 10 seconds. Persistent, isn't she? The catch is? That 700 energy is brilliant, but in PvP? Lilia and Mei are gonna interrupt her faster than you can say, Celestial Spirit. Poof! No ult for you. Kruger says hello too. For AFK stages, is a 2-second stun every 10 seconds really enough? We've got blokes like Iron who can lock down the whole screen for ages. Can Lucy really compete on the CC front? Skill 2, Lucy kick. Right. Yes, you read that right. Lucy kick. Brilliant. Kicks the enemy git who's dealt the most damage, deals up to 300%-ish damage, and stuns them for 2.5 seconds. Single target. She then hops back to her spot, immune while doing the kick-in. Fancy footwork. Cooldown's a bit long, 12 seconds after the first 5 seconds. My take? It's fine? Bit basic, innit? A single target stun isn't exactly setting the world alight, especially for AFK stages where you want big AoE lockdowns. Reminds me a bit of Damien's toy plane poking one person. Helpful maybe, but game-changing? Nah. Needs tons of haste to even be remotely spammy. Bit underwhelming, honestly. Skill 3, Star Dress, Aquarius form. Now things get weirder? Right, so after she casts her ultimate once, she gets this fancy outfit change for the rest of the battle. Range extends to 10 factorial finally. Took her long enough, but she still had to risk life and limb walking up close to get that first ult off. Bit daft that, the twist. Now Lucy herself starts conjuring those same water swirl AoE stuns every 10 seconds, just like Aquarius. They're apparently out of sync, so between the two of them, you could potentially get over 4 seconds of knockup and stun every 10 seconds. Okay, now that's some proper crowd control. Much more interesting, but the ultimate problem again. It looks like you can't recast the ultimate. Once Aquarius is out, Lucy's energy bar just fills up and sits there, doing sod all. What? So no benefit from energy recovery or anything later on? Baffling? Hero focus. Passive haste. Gets up to 20 haste. Good for getting that Lucy kick cooldown down a bit. Helps her dodge while kicking. Nice little perk, fair enough. Doesn't seem to affect those 10-second swirl timers though, which feels like the main event. So, decent, but not earth-shattering. Exclusive skill, Water Barrier, Mythic Plus. Short 8-second cooldown. Aha! Haste looking a bit better now, helps cycle this and the kick. Either Lucy, in Star Dress, or Aquarius casts a shield on the weakest ally. Blocks damage based on Lucy's attack, up to 550%. Lasts 8 seconds. Synergy. One of them casts it, probably not both, that'd be nuts. Good little support skill. At +10, shielded allies get +50 range defense. Helps them shrug off arrows and spells. Nice. Overall, it adds a decent support layer to her kit, makes sense. But does it fix her dying early or getting interrupted in PvP? Nope. Still fragile. Supreme Plus. Enhanced Force. Aquarius. Gets, faster? Okay, strap in. When Lucy's energy bar inevitably fills up because she can't cast her ult again, Aquarius gets +80 attack speed. And? That's it? Seriously? Aquarius hitting slightly faster? Her damage isn't the main reason you'd use Lucy. You use her for the stun gun. What is the point of this? This feels utterly bizarre and frankly, a bit rubbish for a Supreme Plus upgrade. Who asked for this? Gives you basically no extra utility. Save your resources maybe. Putting it all together? Is Lucy actually any good? Honestly? I'm scratching my head a bit here. The good. That potential for constant AoE stuns from both her and Aquarius once she gets going is genuinely interesting. The initial ult cast is lightning fast. The shield adds nice support. The bad. That starting range is awful and dangerous. She's super vulnerable to early interruptions in PvP, potentially making her useless if her first ult gets cancelled. The fact the ult seems unrecastable feels like a massive missed opportunity. That Supreme Plus is bafflingly pointless. Where to use her? AFK stages? Maybe, But is her double C better than Iron's reliable lockdown? I'm not convinced. PvP? She's just too risky. Fragile, easily interrupted. You could try use her as interrupt bait, but there are better options like Vala. Bosses? Absolutely not. Not enough damage, and Sylvans have far better options for things like Ravage Run. Verdict: she feels underwhelming, awkward, full of weird design choices. The core idea of dual stuns is neat, but the execution feels flawed. Honestly, you might even be able to just get her free copy from the event, leave her at Mythic Plus, since the Supreme Plus is pants, and call it a day. Quick Natsu update. Apparently, Natsu's lightning mode is doing some weirdly massive HP reduction in AFK stages. Better than the big damage Fire King mode there for some reason. Odd. Needs more testing. He's still a puzzle. But back to Lucy. What are your thoughts? Am I being too harsh? Have you found some secret amazing use for her? Is she the queen of double C or just a damp squib? Let me know down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Are you pulling for her or giving her a wide berth? Right, that's me done rambling about Lucy. Hope that made some sort of sense through the haze of confusion. Hope you enjoyed this rambling breakdown. If you did, give that like button a punch, and if you haven't already, bloody well subscribe. Why wouldn't you? Cheers for watching, you lovely people. Catch you in the next one.